my name is Agnes and I welcome you to my YouTube channel, to the very first episode of My Health, My Priority. In this episode and the ones to follow, we will be discussing matters health that concern us at individual levels and as a family. I will be briefly explaining what those conditions are. However, my main focus is to bring out the role that nature plays in trying to keep us in optimum health. And for me to do that, I have two foundational scriptures, and that is Genesis chapter 1 verse 29 and Genesis chapter 2 verse 8 to 9. And before I read those two scriptures, please, if you're new to my channel, kindly subscribe. Hit the notification bell so that we can walk together in this journey of discovery. So I'm gonna read. Genesis chapter 1 in verse 29. And God said, Behold, I have given you every herb bearing seed which is upon the face of all the earth, and every tree in the which is the fruit of a tree yielding seed. To you it shall be for meat. And we go to Genesis chapter 2 verse 8 to 9. And the Lord God planted a garden eastward in Eden, and there he put the man whom he had formed. In verse 9, and out of the ground made the Lord God to grow every tree that is pleasant to the sight and good for food. In the first chapter, God is prescribing what man will need for nourishment. In the second chapter, he plants a garden and actually causes these things to come out. Then he puts man to be in charge and to be nourished by it. So I want you to make a mental note of those two verses because we'll be reverting back to it. So my first topic is on menopause. What is menopause? Menopause is that transition in a woman's life where her menses stop. And there is a contribution. The reason why the menses come to a stop is because there is a decline in the production of estrogen hormone. Now, estrogen hormone is not only responsible for the reproductive issues in a woman, but there are also other functions. Number one, it is responsible for your brain health and the regulation of your mood. Number two, the bone density is maintained by the estrogen level. Number three, your heart health as well as the vessels, the blood vessels are maintained by the estrogen level. So when they decline, you have negative impact. Now, the age bracket for menopause is usually between 45 to 55 years old. But sometimes menopause happens earlier, age 40 and below. And when that happens, it is known as premature menopause. There are very many reasons why premature menopause can happen in a woman, but I'll just mention four. Number one, in case you're diagnosed with cancer and you have to go through that rigorous chemotherapy and radiotherapy, that will affect your menstrual cycle. Number two, for one reason or another, you could have gone through surgery, your ovaries are removed, or your uterus, or all of them at the same time. That will affect. Number three, you could have been diagnosed with some diseases that are called autoimmune, like rheumatoid arthritis or systemic lupus erythematosus. Their management is usually very tricky, and that affects your menstrual cycle. And fourth on the list, you could be coming from a family where women experience premature menopause. Having said that, what are the symptoms when menopause sets in? Number one, top on the list is hot flashes and night sweats. What are hot flashes? It is this sudden feeling of heat that hits your face and your neck and your chest, and then you have your skin flashes, you sweat, you perspire, and you just feel very uncomfortable. So irrespective of how cool the weather is, you could be maybe 21 degrees, for example, and you have a jacket on, but you just have this sudden gush of heat and you just have to remove that jacket. So if you're in an office with your colleagues and suddenly you see someone trying to fan themselves, just understand that they are going through that phase. Secondly, your bone mineral density goes down. You develop that condition that's called osteoporosis. So what will be the sign of osteoporosis? Because your bones are becoming weak and brittle, you start having pain in your joints, the knees, the ankles, the hip, the lower back. If you used to just do your squats normally, you realize, oh, I can't do the squats anymore. It's because your bone density has reduced. And most times women complain of lower backache. Sometimes it's so severe. You go to the doctor, they'll do an x-ray. The doctor will realize that it is age-related. You'll be given anti-inflammatories, and maybe sometimes they will prescribe what? Physiotherapy. So those are the changes. The other thing is your skin. Suddenly your skin is very dry. The moisturizer that you're using no longer holds. Your memory is affected. Remember, estrogen was regulating your mood and your brain function. So you become irritable. People begin not to understand what's wrong with you. You are forgetful. You lack interest in the things that you're used to. That happens. Not to everybody, but it is something that you would expect. And ladies, very importantly, you experience vaginal dryness as well as discomfort during intimacy. And of course, your libido goes south because, again, the estrogen levels have been depleted. So those are some of the main symptoms. There are many others. So what do you do when this has happened? Now that you know what you know, you are expected to visit your general practitioner or your obs-gynae or your physician. Then you'll have a management plan, and the plan usually is to do a hormone replacement therapy and to supplement you with the vital vitamins and minerals that are now lacking in your body, like vitamin D for your bones. So for you to have hormone replacement therapy, it's usually a very candid talk that you'll have with your doctor, because it's 50-50 chances that when you start on this therapy, you might develop some cancer like breast cancer. So you'll have to have a very candid talk with your doctor. So now, while you're contemplating to visit your GP or your obs-gynae, that's where I come in. Because once menses stop, month 1, month 2, month 3, you start experiencing these symptoms. And maybe that time you haven't really decided what you want to do. So this is where I come in. And I want us to revert to the scriptures that we read. Genesis indicated that God has prescribed something to keep us healthy. So if we go to nature, we find that there are plants that have what we call phytoestrogens, and those are naturally occurring estrogens. So they are plant compounds which function similarly to the estrogen that is produced in a woman's body. So for us, we need to be now very intentional in what we put into our bodies. And I am going to list down very basic items. And you know, the planet is full of phytoestrogens. I cannot exhaust. I'm just giving you basic so that I jumpstart you and you can do more research and help yourself to stay as healthy as possible. Now, first on the list, I'm gonna say it is kiwano. Kiwano in other terms is called thorn melon. This is the kiwano. It has been researched on quite a lot. Kiwano has plenty of health benefits. But I am not going to focus on the other health benefits. I'm just going to focus on what is related to menopause. The minerals and the vitamins in this fruit, this amazing fruit, help your nerves, help your muscles, and so it will help in controlling those hot flashes. It will help in controlling your cognitive functions. It will help in managing your moods, and it will help in just helping your general energy levels. Remember, your energy levels are down, so you need to add this amazing fruit into your diet. Second on the list is the cucumber. Remember, we talked about your skin being very dry and your favorite moisturizer not helping you. You need to add cucumber into your daily diet. It has very many other health benefits, but right now we are focusing on the effects of menopause on your skin. So you want to hydrate it with a cucumber. Third on the list is this amazing ginger. Ginger has been highly researched. It has plenty of health benefits, but in menopause we are focusing on the part of inflammation of your joints. So you want to treat the inflammation naturally. Instead of you having to go to a chemist and buy a diclofenac or a brufen or any painkiller, you can manage the inflammation naturally by adding ginger, fresh ginger, into your daily diet. Another item on the list is this amazing tomato. Very simple, but highly nutritious, full of health benefits. This tomato is good for your eyes. This tomato is good for your skin. It's good for your digestive tract, which is getting slower, and it is good for your mental health as well. So it has plenty of other benefits, but in menopause, this fruit will help you. Add it fresh. Most of you probably use it. When you see a tomato, you just think of cooking, but taken raw, you reap the benefits. Another item, of course, is the carrots. If you combine carrots and the tomato, you're taking care of your eyes, especially the condition that is called age-related macular degeneration. When you're in that age bracket, you start realizing that you can't read that fine print. Most of you will pay a trip to the optician and have glasses. So you can slow that process down by adding these amazing creation from the Garden of Eden into your daily diet. And now, ladies, remember that drought situation, the beetroot and the watermelon. These are natural aphrodisiacs. So you want to add this to your daily diet so that you deal with that drought situation and increase your libido. Now, you may ask, what do I do? You can have all these items together and you blend. When you blend, you just carry around and use it while you're doing your work. But remember, it has to be done fresh every day. Now, to make it palatable, you can always add fruits in season. Maybe oranges or passion, because on their own they may not be that tasty. So you want to make your juice very, very tasty. So if you have a juicer, use it. If you have a blender, it's okay. So if you have blended, you'll have something like this, and it's good, really good. Add this to your daily diet and stay healthy. Now, a disclaimer: in case you have a chronic ailment and probably you have renal impairment or liver impairment, you cannot use these products. Why? Because they are very high in potassium. Potassium that cannot be cleaned out by your kidneys can cause a massive heart attack. So you want to stick to the strict diet that your nutritionist has prescribed for you and your doctor. This is only for those whose kidney functions are top notch. And still on that, once you have exhausted this, remember, this is not exhaustive. This is just a tip of the iceberg, because there are still other things I have not mentioned, like vegetables. You have even broccoli, you have berries, you have plums. There is plenty. This is just to jumpstart you, as I mentioned before. So it is not cast on stone and you say this is it. No, there is plenty for you to discover. But when you do this, you will begin to feel more comfortable. Your joints become more supple. You will add to the bone mineral density. Your skin will get better. You will enjoy life as naturally as possible. Now, another addition is, in case your symptoms are still severe, like the night sweats, and they are unmanageable, you can add what we call evening primrose oil. Evening primrose oil can be found in the health-related outlets like Healthy You. But evening primrose oil must only be taken by those who are not on prescription medicine. If you're on prescription drugs, you must consult with your doctor. Why? Because you want to prevent any adverse drug reactions. So please note, do not go for evening primrose oil if you're on regular medication like diabetes medication, hypertension medication, just to be on the safe side. And it's usually taken only short term. It's not taken long term. On the nuts side, we have nuts which have naturally occurring phytoestrogens. Remember, our goal is to give you as much as possible in terms of replacing the depleted estrogen. So on the nut side, you have cashew nuts, you have groundnuts, easily available in your local market. If you want to be exotic, you can have the pistachios or the almonds. These are all rich in phytoestrogens, and they'll help you transition smoothly into this phase of your life. Thank you for listening. See you next time. Remember to subscribe so that we stay together. See you.